See, Spencer's connecting. Let me leave all this and get my thing together. Yo, what's good, man? How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm quarantining, man. I don't even know what day it is. What they say, like day 20 or something?
Man, I have no idea.
Everybody safe over there? Everybody good?
Yeah. I'm all good.
Cool. Well, all right. For the audience, man, I want to introduce Spencer Charles, incredible photographer, videographer. I mean, you go ahead and say what you need to the people. Like, I don't know.
Oh no, you got it. You got
Yeah,
it.
man. This is, I mean, incredibly creative. Um, and his relationship with According to Hip Hop goes back, man. I remember we going to the Afro Punk Fest down there in Brooklyn, man. That shit was
Yeah.
dope. That was like what, man, like 13 or something.
Yeah. I remember I was a writer for Current Hip Hop when I was in college. Um,
Yeah. I mean, according to hip hop's even bigger now. So I mean, you're always
yeah.
a writer. I mean, whatever you want to do, it's all good, But yeah, man. So we were gonna talk hip hop album covers or album art. Let's just say album art because mixtapes are in there too. Some of your favorites. I mean, you could do a top five. You can not do a top five. I mean, I wanted to ask you though, like,
Mhm.
just from your visual eye, like, do you prefer more of like the, let's say, Biggie Ready to Die type of stuff, where it was like, photography or
Mhm.
artwork, like what, the Outcast approach, I guess, before Stankonia,
Yeah.
or even when artists just do the simplistic, just use their own image as art.
Yeah. It depends for me, honestly. It depends on the artist and the story behind it. I think I pay attention to like who if it's a photo, like who shoots the cover, and that relationship that photographer has with the artist, or if it's like something like how Kanye does, where he literally like every different album cover he or album he taps in for different like artists, and like it shifts the entire culture, so it's like it becomes an entire movement um by itself. So it really depends for me.
Well, you know what? I don't know if Kanye's in your top five or anything, or any of Kanye albums are in your top five, but what is your favorite Kanye West album cover?
Well, yeah, I did put Kanye in
Well,
my
let me ask somebody else then. What's your favorite? What's your favorite Kendrick Lamar album cover?
The Pimp a Butterfly.
Okay, yeah,
Um, I don't know, that visual was just hard. I mean, I think that entire album for me was just amazing. But just the visual of like him and all his homies on like the lawn of the White House in the black and white imagery. It just fit the music perfectly, in my opinion.
dope. Yeah. People are saying graduation, 808s. Yeah,
Yeah.
graduation's a portrait.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna talk about graduation.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure we're gonna get to that.
Graduation is
Talking
amazing.
about To Pimp a Butterfly, though, I know Damn just celebrated his third year anniversary a couple of days ago, and I know a lot of people have over the years kind of pushed To Pimp a Butterfly to the back. And in my opinion, that's his best effort. Album
Yeah.
art, end to end skits, musicality,
Mhm.
approach. I think
I
that album gets really looked over because he
I
has a
agree.
lot of a lot of good quality stuff.
I think what the To Pimp a Butterfly is one of those albums that's gonna like um just grow over time because it was so far out there and it was so left field from what like people knew Kendrick to do. It's like it's something that like people have to. It takes a while. I think Good Kid, Mad City was like an instant classic. It was safe. It introduced him to the world. When he was so left field from what he already did, it threw a lot of people off. But that's the type of thing. That's what makes you a legend. I think The Paper Butterfly is what made Kendrick a legend already, and
Mhm.
like Damn just like solidified it. But that's why I think people are scared to talk about The Paper Butterfly on the same level as they do like Good Kid, Mad City, and Damn.
It's definitely necessary. I wanted to ask you too, some
Mm.
controversial album art. What did you think about the Daytona album cover? Yeah.
I mean, I love that. I mean, I'm a Pusha T fan. I think I understood what uh Kanye was thinking when he like wanted that for the cover.
Hmm.
And I think the reason why I like it is because it showed the relationship between Kanye and Push. And what that album really was like how like when you think about how how RZA used to like construct all these beats for RZA. I mean for Raekwon, and Raekwon would just go in there and rap, right? Or like Drake would just go in there and rap, and it was like Push really just like trusting Kanye to like, you know what, you go ahead and make the beats. I'm just gonna rap, and I think like him trusting Kanye to like pick that for the album cover, no matter how controversial it was, no matter like how much people hated it, it really just showed that Push really just had that trust in Kanye as an artist to deliver this amazing album from top to bottom, from the beats to the song selection to the album art. And I think what Kanye was saying as far as like um that visual being what people needed to see when they heard those lyrics. When you think of Pusha T's lyrics, like he's playing the villain. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you want to like pick the most like menacing like visual to go with that. And that was that.
It threw a lot of people off. It got people talking early before the music even did. Not to mention, well, I think after the album was released, I think uh, um, the Drake thing on the outro pretty much got people talking too. But even before that, yeah, like you said, the album art did that.
Yeah.
Um, and usually, usually I think now people are releasing the album art in succession before the actual album. They'll put the album art out, then they'll put the track list out, and then you
Mhm.
get the album.
Yeah.
So the album art is that important to the point where this is the first image that's drawing people in. And before you get into your top five, I mean, what's your favorite J. Cole album cover? He does some
Mm.
interesting. Yeah.
J. Cole's album, I like his simple album covers, like 2014 Forest Hill Drive, like that,
I was gonna say that too.
because it fit the music perfectly, right? I think where J. Cole was in his career at the time, it's like he really took a step back and stopped like trying to impress, you know what I'm saying, anyone but himself. He stopped trying to like collaborate with other artists. He stopped trying to like beat like the legends, his like you know his idols. He was just like he just kind of stripped everything down and and just focused on himself. And that album cover like displayed that perfectly.
Definitely, it was indicative of the actual music itself. Like you said, it was stripped. That's actually my favorite effort from him.
Yeah, oh yeah,
I mean, you keep mentioning and that's crazy. Like the albums that you're saying are your favorite album art from these individuals are actually my favorite albums from these individuals. So I do think that there is some level of correlation there. When artists are in a zone making some of their best work, they usually come with the overall best package, and that starts with the album art.
yeah.
So, what are your favorite album covers? You're gonna do your top five.
Okay, I did 10 because
Go
I
ahead, do your thing.
and there they're in no particular order. The first one I have is actually Master P, The Ghetto's Trying to Kill Me, because it was the first like really striking album cover I ever saw. I wasn't really a Master P fan growing up, but like once I started getting into Southern hip hop and started like going back on discographies, like and I discovered that album cover, like the visual of it, it was just like so cool. It's like him in the bed, and it's like someone through the window with a shotty aimed at him. There's just so many just different layers to it. Um, and it's like super ratchet, super ratchet. But I just thought it was the perfect imagery for like that went with the music. Um,
I remember seeing that in the store like way back in the day, and I think this is after Master P blew up. Cause like
yeah,
when you used to go in the store, you can go into a certain section and
yeah,
just see what they had, and I
yeah.
was like, should this be out here?
Right. It was one of those. Next I got Tribe Called Quest and Low End Theory. Um, because that that artwork, the drawing, the painting, the colors of it, the red, green, and black, in the shape of the woman. I love that's like my absolute favorite one right there.
I think that's a precursor to a lot of the stuff the Outkast was doing too with the
Yeah,
disc,
yeah, for sure.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I think Andre like he pays like credit to like to Q-Tip all the time as far as like how Tribe influenced them. Um, but that album cover, I really just think like that like set a tone for that type of music in general. But like from everyone who was birthed from Tribe, like they all kind of followed that same blueprint. And I just thought it was amazing. Um,
I think even with that character that they use, I don't even know if they ever gave that character a name, right?
I don't
But
think so.
I like Beats, Rhymes, and Life as a cover. It had a lot going on, obviously, but I
Yeah,
liked everything that they were using. But yeah, I do love the simplistic thing of the low end theory, and it basically it kind of makes you think. Like the low end was supposed to be the bass
mm.
sonically, but it made you think: is that what they're talking about? You know?
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
was metaphorically like Q-Tip was there, just like throwing like little things in there. It was amazing. Next thing I got Stank on You. Simple one, but I just think it's so iconic.
It
Um,
is.
I think if that image of like Big Boy and Dre have been used since then, um, just so many different like so many different places, like for paintings, murals, everything, and just and I mean what that album did for their career, um, is like you can't even touch that. But that album cover just really I think set them apart as far as like being able to be used like to be timeless, pretty much.
That was some rock star shit, man. Like
Yeah,
it was like that was some shit you could put on a t-shirt. That's something that like, when you go to some of those vintage shops and they have like the
yeah,
t-shirts with the album covers from rock stars from the 70s and 80s. It was something like that. And it
yeah.
was a real different approach for them too because the other album covers were more of, like I said, drawings.
Hmm.
Southern Playalistic kind of had both of their faces, but I don't even think they had an identity as Outkast at that time.
Right.
They were just a rap duo really trying to find their way. So yeah, Stankonia was definitely definitive. I mean, even when we put up that post with James Harden and Russell Westbrook
Exactly.
recreating that shit went crazy.
Yeah.
Even Andre's pose, like, it's just the whole thing, like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it was like it was them really like coming into their own. It was like, all right, cool, we got to figure it out now. We know who we are. We're ready to introduce ourselves, like to you how we want to be introduced. It was them like taking control.
these are some
Um,
good picks, man. I wouldn't expect anything else, but yeah.
Thank you, man. Next one, I got the Kanye one, Graduation.
Okay.
Uh, Graduation is my favorite Kanye album cover because I feel like it was the beginning of him understanding his voice as more than a rapper and a producer, but as the like cultural icon that he is. Because when you think about it, that like so that was Graduation was the first time he started like teaming up with artists as far as like and introducing artists to our culture as far as like uh this just making like the art world really big in hip hop. So Takashi Murakami designed the Graduation cover. And it was the first time a lot of people heard of Takashi Murakami. And it really was the birth of like really the entire like blog culture, like 2008, 2009, everything that was happening there from like we were finding music differently, right? This is when we got introduced like to Drake, Wale, J. Cole, like Kendrick, the Cool Kids, like that whole era. Um, and we became like streetwear became really really big in hip hop. Um, Everything like Japanese culture. It really started with Graduation, and I think him picking Takashi Murakami was just it just showed where his mind was, like how he had his finger on like the pulse of the culture and changing it, and just like setting us in a new direction aesthetically. So that's why Graduation is my favorite Kanye album
Nice.
cover.
Now I got a
Uh,
question. Because I know he did multiple covers on the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. When
yeah.
you think of that project, Well, first of all, it's a two-parter. Do you
Hmm.
suggest multiple covers on an album? I mean, would you suggest if an artist wanted to do more than two covers? I would say because I guess two
Hmm.
covers isn't bad because he did like 8 or 9 or something.
Yeah, he had a lot
Yeah.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Like, do you suggest that? And and after that, like, which one of those was actually your favorite and actually stood out the
I
most?
think I suggested depending on the artist and the story you're trying to tell with the music. I think for My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, there's a lot of different things that Kanye wanted to say with it, right? So the different album, like when you think about it, the album kind of flowed like a story he was telling, just like the movie, the Runaways film, and the album covers uh were for different parts of the story. But they all kind of fit this central theme and I pulled everything together. So in that aspect, I would suggest like, no, that's cool to have a lot of different covers. If your album isn't doing that, if it's not saying that, then just have one cover.
Right.
Like no, but I think like let the music dictate what your art is going to be, and I think that's something Kanye is really good at.
What was the I mean, because I never really. I mean, you see the ballet theme in the whole Runaway video,
Hmm.
but what was the ballet theme in My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy about? I mean, from your perspective, like, where did you think he was going with that?
I think what he was I think for him, but I think for ballet in general, I think what it represented was just um, supposed to be like high art, like a different lifestyle, a lifestyle, an atmosphere that he was not supposed to be in, right? I
Mm.
think the main concept behind My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy um, for him was like the nightmare of fame, right? And uh, a lot of like in black culture for black men, they feel like and I think Jay-Z touched on this with 444 is that like um a lot of black men want fame because they feel like it's closer to whiteness. As far as um like if you're known, right? If you get pulled over by the cops, if they see you and you're a celebrity, right, then they're not gonna profile you the same way they
It's
would.
protection.
Right, it's protection. So that fame becomes protection. Um, and at the same time, which this thing you acquire, which you think is protecting you from the your fear as a black man is also destroying you as well.
And make
Um,
you a target in some other ways too.
exactly. So I think for him, the imagery he was portraying with everything, with all of the covers, was just to tell that story of that of this lifestyle that he had acquired that he felt like um the world felt like he didn't deserve.
Gotcha. So he was kind of like not fitting in at the ballet. Like he's going
Yeah,
to the opera, and they know he's Kanye West,
yeah, like
and
even if you
and so
understand
people are
there's
looking
a
like,
nigga
what
in the
is he
truth.
doing here?
Right.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay. Next one. I got Mad Villainy. I love MF Doom. Love Madlib. Uh, I think for me, I have the MF Doom. I don't know if you know. I have the mask tattooed on my legs.
Really?
Yes.
That album cover is fucking awesome. Like when we celebrate the anniversary of it, I always love posting it. It's just such.
Yeah. I think
I'm a
it's
big comic book person too, and I'm sure you are too.
yeah, and
Yeah.
see that's why it's my favorite because like I'm like for me like MF Doom is always this like mysterious like character, right? He's like this cartoon character. Everything's like so like animated. He's so removed from like he's not like actual person. He's a character, but in this album cover, it's just a portrait. It's very like human like for this artist who you don't ever think of as a human. You just think of as a cartoon character.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this like meeting your hero in real life almost. Which is why I think the image for me is just so striking. It's so
What's
amazing.
interesting though, like, I know this was like what, 2004.
Hmm.
This is during the time period, and I know he's underground. This is during the time period people were doing heavy press. Like
Hmm.
when an album came out, you were being very personable. So the fact that somebody before the digital age was able to kind of hide behind the music was unheard of.
Yeah.
You know, people could easily do that now because, you know, everything's digital. But back then it was like you said, he was like a real live character because we never saw him. He wasn't going to be on 106 in Park interviewing or anything or Rap City. He was like, it was fictitious, but real. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let me go to the next one. Oh, DMX, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood.
That's a good one.
And so I'm a huge fan of Jonathan Mannion. Jonathan Mannion is iconic photographer. He shot almost every JV album cover. He shot a lot of Outkast. Amazing photographer.
Is he the one that shot Reasonable Doubt?
Yes.
Okay,
He
yeah,
shot everything. He shot Reasonable Doubt, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, The Dynasty, Blueprint, like all of them.
I think Reasonable Doubt probably would be my favorite of those.
Yeah. No, yeah, mine too. But I think my favorite of his work is DMX, is because I just feel like his shots of DMX are always just so amazing. His use of like his knowledge of like color theory is amazing. And plus when I got to meet him, I met him a few years ago, and he told me the story of like him shooting that cover and how he was like waiting for DMX for like 8 hours in the studio, and then when he got there, it's like DMX came with just like a bucket of fake blood and was like, I want to pour this on me. Like Jonathan Mannion had no idea what was going to go on before, and he just like DMX walked in and was like, I want you to pour this fake blood on me, and he was just rolled with it. And I was like, that's the most amazing story ever. If I was ever just sitting in the studio and DMX walked in with a bucket of fake blood, I don't know what I would do.
That's crazy. Was the album, did it already have a title at that point? You know?
I don't know if it already had a title.
Because I remember him telling that Reasonable Doubt story, and he was saying that the album was called something else. It was called like something like I'll look it up, but it was something like the king to his heir, or something, the heir to the throne, or something like that. And
something real.
Yeah, and after the photo shoot, they actually changed the name of the album.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he said he had only heard Dead Presidents 2 at the time before they did the shoot. So that, I mean, I'm sure that X probably had a name in mind if he had fake blood all over him.
Yeah. Right. Let's see what I got next. Oh, next, Juvenile, 400 Degrees.
Nice.
And I picked that one because like that design style was like the coolest thing to me in elementary school. When I saw it's like I feel like every Southern album like had that like that style for a long period of time. And
who was doing that? I mean, like who?
It was
like one company.
So it was a design company called Pen and Pixel.
Okay.
And they're out of New Orleans. Just like some young dudes, they were young at the time. These young dudes from New Orleans. And they started that whole like design series with Cash Money, like doing like Cash Money albums, like just like their mixtape covers and stuff. And just to see how it set a whole trend that really took over my entire like childhood.
There's so much going on in those covers too. Like I remember those
like
No Limit covers
up from the side, and then they're like in 3 different places. Like looking back on it, it's like it's really like amateur work like now, but like at the time it was like culturally just everywhere. And I don't know.
When you mentioned it, I'm looking it up right now just to kind of find little things in it. I remember the Chopper City and the Ghetto had a lot of crazy stuff in there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's definitely one of my favorites.
For the people who are just getting in the room, I'm sorry, somebody asked what we talking about. We're sitting here with Spencer Charles Green, man, incredible photographer, does a lot of album art for hip hop artists and just, you know, artists in general. And we're just talking about some of his favorite hip hop album covers, album art. I don't know if you have any mixtapes in here, but it seems like just straight albums right now. Go for it.
Next one, ODB. 36 Chambers, the dirty version.
I like Nigga Please too, but yeah, I like that too.
No. So that one, I just didn't, when I first saw it, I was like, yo, what is this? And it was like the whole like the food stamp card. I was like, I just thought that was so crazy, and I think it just like showed like ODB like persona like perfectly. Like this is the same one who pulled up to the welfare office in a limo. Like ODB was just that person. It was also so different from like the Wu-Tang cover, like the 36 Chambers cover was like them in all like the mask and the W, and it's like just real menacing. And then you see the ODB cover, and it's like you don't know whether to take it seriously or like laugh or what. And
Right.
it's like it showed how he stood out from the group so much. It was like he wasn't really trying to be hard. He was just himself. He was just dirty. That was just it.
I think he's such an interesting character, you know, period. When you're a part of a group that's just that dense with lyricists and everybody trying to outrhyme each other, he just totally went the other way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you said, I'm me. I'm not gonna go out here and try to outspit you, but I do think that he added a certain energy to records that
That's what it was.
nobody.
It was the energy. It was a vibe. It was like when you listen to that album, it's one of my favorite song in that album. He doesn't rap at all. I think it was called Harlem World. He's really just like reciting. I think what is like that Slide and Family Stone track,
Yeah.
but like changing like the lyrics so it's like about Wu-Tang. He's not rapping at all. He's just flowing, just kind of just like vibing. I was like, this is just cool.
That
It's
shit
not
is
at
one of
all.
my favorite albums ever. I think it's literally the craziest hip hop album ever, if you
Yeah.
can quantify that. I know when RZA and Premier was going against each other, and this was a close round. It was Come Clean versus Brooklyn Zoo. And, you know, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
Premier fans telling me Come Clean. And I know what Come Clean means for Premier. Great track. I ain't putting it over Brooklyn Zoo.
Not at all.
Ever.
Not
Ever,
at all. I
ever.
love Brooklyn Zoo.
Now, did you hear the story behind that album title? I mean, not album title, behind the album cover.
Mm-mm.
It was one of his baby mom's food stamp card, and I think that they photoshopped him on it or something. Like they replaced, her picture with his picture and all that stuff.
That's so cool.
But it was a real card. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was one of his baby mom's card.
that's crazy. Next one, I got Mobb Deep, the Infamous, and I picked that one. It's a really simple cover. It's just like Havoc and Prodigy's like face, but I picked it because I really really like the photographer that took that cover. His name is Chimandu. He's a Nigerian photographer, and he's mostly known for like shooting like editorials. Like he did a lot of like photos of Nas, of Biggie, of Pac, a lot of like most of like Pac's like iconic photos he did, like all like the Vibe magazine stuff. He's a very very iconic editorial photographer, and he really doesn't do album covers. So the fact that he did My Beats cover, I just thought was super cool. That like they got one of the only album covers out of this photographer that doesn't shoot covers at all. That's why it's just one of my favorites. Simple cover, but
It's an
um,
iconic cover for them. Like even when people use images of Mobb Deep, you usually see something like this or the actual cover. You know what I mean? Like they kind
yeah,
of recreated it a lot
yeah,
too.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. And then what's the last one I got? Oh, last one I got is Ghetto Boy. You can't be stopped.
it's a good one. It's a good one.
Because I think just the fact that they rolling with Bushwick Bill through the hospital with the patch on his eye, and I was just like, it literally embodies the name of the album. It can't be stopped. Like nothing is going to stop them. I just thought that was just super super cool.
And
And I love
someone
the
had the
photography.
presence of mind to actually take the photo in a crazy situation like that.
Yeah,
Like, wait up, let me get a photo. Like,
right. Like I don't know whose idea that was to like stop him like while they're like he's about to go into surgery. Like oh wait, this be a hardcover right here. Let's do this. But
Right, and it wasn't like the cell phone era where you could just pull out the cell phone and do it. Like this is a full out camera.
yeah, but it was iconic, and like that's the type of stuff that makes you iconic. I think for them as a group, like it just showed that like nothing was going to stop them.
That's dope, man. Out of all the ones you mentioned, just based on that part, I would have to give that one a nod.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. Like, ugh. Like I said, I was just trying to think of the whole situation, and the DMX one was crazy too. I wasn't even thinking about that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What now? I know Jay-Z throughout his whole career, he pretty much until I would say the Blueprint 3,
mm-hmm.
he had his image on every album cover.
Yeah.
And with the Blueprint 3, he switched it up. I don't really even know what the Blueprint 3 has on.
It was some type of installation. It was weird. It was like different instruments, and then it was weird.
Yeah, I don't even know what the concept of that was. But yeah. I would say outside of Reasonable Doubt, I guess I'm going to have to go with Blueprint when it comes to Jay.
Okay.
I think. I like the American Gangster too. Well, yeah.
Oh, I like that one. I think Jay's covers are like, they always just like mark a cool period of where he is in life. So I would probably go with Volume 3. Volume 3 was a cool cover for me because it kind of like really set me up for everything I was about to hear. And it's simple. It's just him in the middle of the street, but it was like it was like the first cover he didn't have a suit on, and it was just like I was like, oh, this is a different look for Jay. Like what's about to happen, and then you hear like You Do It Again and So Ghetto, and it's like, oh, all right, cool. This the vibe.
That was a different Jay. That was like a party Jay.
It was. That's Big Pimpin' was on there.
Mm-hmm. I like Volume 3 Jay. I do. I didn't love the album. I liked his approach though, because I love Do It Again. I like you said, it was like he was having fun. He wasn't in a suit this time.
Yeah. I think for me, like Volume 3 was when I discovered, because I don't remember how old I was. I was too young to hear the album, but I was like, Volume 3 was when I discovered Jay.
That's when I actually became a legit fan of Jay, and I stopped fighting it. And I felt like a Volume 2, they were pushing them on us, right? Like, because we kept hearing the song with Ja Rule over and over and over. I wasn't that big of a fan of Hard Knock Life like that. But Volume 3, when I heard his verse on Do It Again, how the fuck you gonna talk about them seas on our hill? I was like, I can't fight it anymore.
I might have been like 8 years old, like listening to this. So these were like my first like time hearing like curse words. I'm like, oh, wait, what is this? Like it was like, so I think for me it was iconic. That was like my first like time really hearing Jay-Z.
Now, as a photographer, I want to ask you a question as far as like what Nas did in his career. Mm-hmm. Do you think it was a mistake for him to try to recreate the first album's cover like really 4 times in a row?
No. I think it was cool. I think it set a trend. I think looking back on it, he probably could have like no. I think Nas did it perfectly. I like how he had like a theme going on with his albums as far as like that, because Lil Wayne did the same thing, and I really like how Lil Wayne did from the Little Boy and the Carter 3, and how he just kept growing and still had more face tattoos on it. I was like, I don't know. I think I like when artists have like a theme like that. As long as you're consistent with it and it makes sense for your brand, I think it's cool.
I loved how I would say that it was written was really dope. How it showed the grown man from the kid with the project windows. It kind of lost me with the Pharaoh thing on I Am.
Yeah, I think I Am in general lost a lot of people. It was like, what do you?
There was a lot going on from I Am, from what I understand. Man, I was talking to Lenny over there at High Gravity Hip Hop. Yeah, so me and him were having a conversation on live one night, and he's from Queens. So we were talking about I Am. We have totally different experiences. I'm from Atlanta. He's from Queens. And I just heard I Am as it came out. and he was talking about the bootleg version of I Am, where it was the lost tapes, the first lost tapes.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of the songs just didn't make it. So I was like, yeah, I Am was all over the place, and that's pretty much why. So
Okay. Gotcha.
yeah, but yeah, it was because I think he said Blaze of 50 was on I Am. Whole bunch of great stuff from I think it started off with Fetus. I think that was the intro.
Okay.
Something like that. So I guess when you get bootleg like that and you have to gut a whole bunch of really good songs, it can really mess with the overall creativity.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so yeah, I love the selection, man. I think the Tribe cast were very consistent with their artwork.
Oh, for sure.
What about mixtapes, though? I mean, are there some mixtape art that you fuck with like that?
Yes.
No Crit, no
Actually,
Action
you know what?
Bronson.
Bronsons are always dope. Yesterday was the anniversary of Cushion Orange Juice. Wiz Khalifa's Cushion Orange Juice.
I was gonna ask you about that too. Yeah, that was 10 years for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was just. I mean that album just marks like. I don't know. For me, it's just a beautiful like marking time. I thought that cover was amazing. How he redid the David Ruffin for that. That's probably one of my favorite mixtape covers. Other than that, for me, when it comes like the mixtapes I remember were like the K Slade mixtapes of Dipset and like and G Unit and stuff, and it was just like all these just different just like weird like cool images or just like street photos. So it's like when mixtapes got kind of like mainstream, and you got like the Lil Wayne covers for like different dedications and the droughts. Those are cool, but like the mixtape covers that I really like. Probably my favorite one was like it was so ratchet. It was like this Street Wars mixtape that DJ K Slade was hosting, and it had like all these different battle records of like it had like the Cassidy and Freeway going at each other. It had a Jazzo versus Jay-Z like track on there, just like super random stuff. But I just remember the artwork being so cool. I can't really explain what it was. It was just a lot of different guns. There's a lot of guns, some like money falling everywhere, and I was just like, "Oh, this is so cool!" But like, I knew exactly what was about to happen.
That's dope, man. I mean, yeah, I think that we've kind of moved away from that type of stuff in hip hop. But everything comes back around, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, who knows, man? These street covers might come back. I'm looking at the back of that infamous Mobb Deep cover. That was in the streets too. Like, and I think when I see this, I think about that Big L, the back of that cover, where everybody just had their whole crew. When you talk about like street covers and stuff like that, that was the thing. Like, it'd be one rapper on the front, and then when you turn around on the back and see the song, it'd be like the rapper and his whole crew.
Yeah.
I feel like Fat Joe did that a lot too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Fat Joe did that. 50
had, you know what, I didn't understand that Massacre album cover. That was always weird to me. Like this superimposed, muscular drawing.
Yeah, nah, I think he was just trying to capitalize on from Get Rich or Die Trying. It's visually, like just trying to capitalize on that. I don't really think like 50 had like too much of a like visually like creative like ideas as far as it fit. Musically, I think I love Get Rich or Die Trying. I love Massacre too, but like I think the album cover was just kind of like whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of like if it ain't broke, don't fix it type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I really liked and we talk about Aftermath or Dre or anything like that. I really like 2001. I know it sounds crazy to say. I love the album. And I think the fact that it's just all black with the green chronic leaf. And you didn't mention Doggy Style. I think that was
so Doggy Style was literally next. Like I was like I had to narrow it down.
Right.
Doggy Style was like it was like 11 for me.
I mean, I think that was a big jump from the Chronic to Doggy Style. You know what I'm saying? Because the Chronic was real simple, and I wonder what the story is behind Doggy Style, because it tells like a whole story, really.
Yeah, it really. So I actually did look up the story behind Doggy Style. So apparently, Snoop Dogg's cousin uh designed the cover while he was in jail. So like I was like he was like just like he draws, so he was like drawing while he was in jail, and like when he got out, like Snoop like saw like his drawings and stuff. He was like, "Oh, can I use this for my album cover?" He was like,
That's
"Yeah."
dope.
Kind of like added some more stuff for him, but that was really just it.
That is dope, man. I never knew that. I'm trying to think of some ones that might have been left out. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people go for more of the simple imagery now. Like,
Yeah.
what's the last couple of artists that you worked with? I know you've been doing some album covers as well.
So I work with my homie Neek, Money Making Neek.
Mm-hmm.
From Southwest Atlanta. He's a really dope rapper. I've been shooting all of his stuff. And his like ideas for all of his shoots are like so always amazing. I posted some recently on my page. So I really love working with him. I shot some stuff for Deontay Hitchcock, who actually has an album coming out next month. I did not shoot this cover, but the cover is super dope, and he just dropped a song today with Jid, with
Oh,
JID.
nice.
Super hard record. So
I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna put that out
yeah,
there.
super hard, and the album is amazing too. But I worked with him. Uh, I've worked with Judena, Roman John Arthur,
Nice.
just some different people. But I'm always looking to work with more people.
So, do you usually come to? I mean, how's your process with artists? I mean, do you usually come through with the concepts, or you just let them come through with the concepts, so y'all work it out together?
No. It depends. Normally, I'll say like, let me listen to the music.
Mm-hmm.
And once I listen to the music, we'll just kind of sit down and like figure out what image you want to be seen with this music. That's normally how I like to do it. But sometimes they come up with their own ideas in mind, and I'll just kind of like add to it, and then we just sit and do that.
You ever have any concepts that you like? We're not gonna do that. I mean, because I mean, your
Yeah,
name's still on it, you know.
yeah, a lot for a lot of people. There's a lot of people. I mean, in general, people hit me up with concepts, and I'm like, I really don't want to do that, but I mean, it's a check, so I gotta do something.
Well,
But
I'm sure you can explain to them why it's not such a great idea. But usually, when an artist is set on something, it's hard to get an artist to move.
yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because it's all art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Is there anything else you want to tell the people before we get up out of here?
No, I'm good. I'm
Man,
good.
you got to follow Spencer Charles Green, man. Incredible photography, and it's some really great things for the eyes out there, fellas, if you haven't checked out his page before. And, man, when all this is over, man, we got to get together. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
stay safe out there, and
Thank
you
you,
have a
man.
good one, man. I appreciate it. Great
All
album.
right. All right. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.